Along with Twindy here on the SCL Racing Network, just about to bring you the SCL Season 23 Gatorade Duel number 2 Daytona 500 qualifying race. We just completed the first race with Hossack getting the victory, followed by HCC, Tiernizzle and One Shoe earning the automatic qualifying spots. These guys are going to be going for the same thing here tonight. Looking for a top 4 finish to automatically transfer and not have to resort to provisionals and lap times to get in. As I said, I'm here with former IndyCar Series champion Twindy. Say hi, Twindy.
How you guys doing?
Yeah, let me know how your mic's doing, Twindy, whenever you get it. You can hear it through the mic anyway.
Yeah, my mic's good.
Yeah, these guys are just about ready to get started here at the Daytona International Speedway. As we said, we had a fantastic race earlier in Duel number 1. A few wild wrecks, wild incidents, but by and large it was a fantastic show. So I'm getting myself out of the way here, as I myself ran in Duel number 1, as did Twindy. Both of us are looking to fall back on provisionals to get into the race, which just goes to show you how these type of events go.
Well, as of right now, 3 out of the top 5 finishes in points in last season's Cup or have to fall back on provisionals, so it's going to be interesting.
That guarantees
exciting race here.
Yeah, that guarantees that those provisional spots are out, which puts even more pressure on the guys who were not in the top 10 in points and who didn't have fast lap times. They are really going to need to make sure that they race their way in here. And this is going to be it's 40 laps on the board. It's a 37-lap, 150K duel. It is for next week's Daytona 500, Sunday, May 6th, the 12th running of the SCL Daytona 500. Here in Season 23, we are smack dab in the middle of Daytona Season 23 Speed Weeks here in the SCL. And all right, mics are a bit quiet. Fix that. I guess we'll give it a little bit of a crank.
I thought it was good, but hey, I didn't have anything plugged in to hear how loud I really was, so may as well.
All right, you can tell me how that one sounds, Rita. As these guys are going to be coming around and pulling into the pit box, making their initial adjustments and getting back out there to fire it up in this duel. This is a long-time SCL tradition. As we said, this is Season 23. We run 3 to 4 seasons per year. The initial SCL Daytona Speed Weeks was way back in season 12. I myself have run in 12 of these duels, and they are always a great show. And added pressure, as I said before, a lot of provisionals are going to be used here, but let's also keep in mind 28 entries this season. That is a new Daytona 500 record for the SCL, and only 16 race spots. So a lot of guys going home, but they have plenty of racing this week in Speed Weeks. Any one of the particular events coming up, the non-points events that you're particularly looking forward to, Twindy?
I'm not all that sure. I know that the Rallycross event is on Monday. I myself haven't been a fan of that, but I haven't spent much time doing that kind of stuff. I'm not really sure. I'm definitely looking forward to the races over the weekend, though, so it should be a fun end to Speed Weeks once we get to there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We just have a tremendous... The points races will start up on Thursday with Thursday Night Thunder, and then Friday night's the IndyCar opener, the US 400. Saturday we've got the Daytona Continental, and Sunday the Daytona 500. We also have the International Tours out at Fuji on Saturday in their opener, the 90 minutes of Fuji. But let's go ahead and get down the starting order here at Gatorade Duel number 2. Out there in front in the number 38 car for newly formed Renaissance Racing out of the JME shop. That is It's PT, second season driver. Had a terrific qualifying run, qualified 4th overall. So he will start on the pole here. Starting second, we've got Daz from Team Danamore Racing, the most decorated team in SCL history. No, we don't. Wait a minute. We got JB up there now. Okay, JB is going to be in second place. Sorry about that. Johnny Benson in the SCL Sunday Cup League car number 22, the Season 7 SCL Winston Cup champion way back in the day. This is his 11th attempt at the Daytona 500. Daz will be third in the number 55 car there for Team Dynamo Racing, second season driver. He will be followed in fourth place by O'Brien in the 66 JME Motorsports car. O'Brien right there. Starting in fifth is Callie in the number 60 car for TOW Racing. Confirm this now for all the viewers here, Twindy. The name of your team is TOW Racing, right? Not Tow Racing, not Tau Racing. It's TOW, correct?
Honestly, it's supposed to be TOW, but we just let it roll with whatever anyone says, and you know, it's just what can we do, right?
Yeah, right. I hear you.
Well, I mean, we did have the joke that it was Tow back when I was a bit more of a dominant force, but that joke can't really be used as often anymore.
All right, so we got Callie there in fifth on the outside. In sixth is Watcher, I believe. I'm trying to pick up his car. Let me go ahead and get on board here. Watcher will be there in the 19 car, starting in sixth place for Renaissance Racing. Starting in seventh is Cold in the number 42 car for JME Motorsports, the defending SCL IndyCar Series champion. Starting in eighth besides him is Baron von Stosch in the 16 car for Benson Speed Equipment. He was a Winston Cup winner last season at the World 600. Starting in ninth will be the 83 car of longtime SCL veteran, 10th SCL season, former IndyCar Series champion Super 8 in the 83 car for Renaissance Racing. On his outside in 10th will be longtime SCL veteran making his return after a couple of seasons out of competition in the 41 car for Regulator Racing. It's Roland D19. Starting in 11th in the 65 independent car will be our German driver, Mice Pamela. He has shown some real promise out here on the track as he makes an attempt to get into the Daytona 500. And shotgun on the field in the number 15 car for Benson Speed Equipment is Rosta, fourth place finisher last season at the Daytona 500. Let's get back up to the front with its PT on our trackside cam and prepare here for the start of Gatorade Duel number 2. Top 4 automatically transfer. It's PT, a winner in an IndyCar event last season, the Golden State 300 at Willow Springs. And here we go as they come off of turn 4. Let's see if we get a clean start. They've got cold tires. They're looking a little ragged in the middle, but fairly tightening it up. Not quite a photo start, but looking good enough. Waiting for third place to close in. They are getting closer to the line, and we're green, green, green at Daytona. Side by side up front going into turns 1 and 2. It's PT holding the bottom. He's got Johnny Benson on the outside. Daz immediately behind him as the lines try to form up here in turn 1. And they
Callie got a really good start there. Got right up to Johnny's bumper from the inside line back in row 3.
He looks like he shot all the way up into third place. He's directly on the 20 of that 22, as Twindy said. And Johnny's looking to figure out where to slot in. The big question here is towards the end of the race. It's very tough. Some drivers think that outside line is the better place to be if you're trying to get to the line first. But obviously, I think over the heart of the race, you want to be running in a comfortable spot where you have less of a chance of getting wrecked to the back. So that really becomes the situation. As Johnny's up in the fence, going around, and he is around, and that's going to be a caution flag here on lap number 5. Looks like Johnny Benson got loose, scraped up against the wall, came down the track. Not quite sure. That's what I caught on it. Twindy might have seen something different near the back. I think what we saw in the first race was a lot of overdriving at times.
Yeah, I think he just overdrove the entry to the turn there. He got into the wall and tried to come off, and car spun around on him. So That's just one of the things that people have to realize. You get up into the wall here, you can't pull it down into traffic. You will make a wreck every time.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that personally, I've told the guys many times, my secret to being smooth here is that I treat it just like any other racetrack. I get off of the throttle. I don't think they're going green yet. Yeah, I get off of the throttle or burp the throttle, breathe it just slightly on corner entry, just like you would on any other track, just to a lesser degree, and that is why I can get back on the throttle full all the way through and not lose traction. I've tried to teach it to certain people, and they say it doesn't work for them, but that's been the key for me, and I think that you can tell the guys that are a little smoother up there in that corner, but the truth is that could have happened to anybody. Every one of us has that happen to us at some point. The dirty air hits you in the wrong way, and off you go. Not sure if they're going to be opening the pits here. As it is still, it's PT up front. There's Daz in the 55 car for Team Dana Moore Racing, the most decorated team in SCL history, where I got my start. He's followed immediately by Cole in the 42 car for JME. There's Cole in the 42, Cowley in the 60, and Barrett in the 16 rounds out your top 5. Return of some veterans. Look back here in the 9th place spot in the 41 car for Regulator Racing. There's Roland, longtime SCL veteran. Hasn't raced the past few seasons. Actually won a Grand National Division Championship in the support classes.
Yeah, I believe the season he won that was his last season he ran. I believe. I could be wrong, but I believe he won the Grand National Championship and then left for a couple of seasons, and he's definitely a veteran that I'm excited to have back.
Oh, absolutely. Roland was an absolute speedway demon. And they are going green. Nobody took the pits, and here we go. And right off the bat, Cole goes around. Cole goes around, and we're going to have a caution. Not sure what happened there, but they're definitely going to be backing down here. Get towards the back.
I wasn't up near the front, but if I had to guess, someone got a jump on someone else and clipped him trying to get around him. That looked like that's what that was. It's generally how those wrecks on the starts form. Someone gets a bigger run than the other, and then dives and clips them just wrong, and well, that's what happens.
Yeah, either that or when you come up strong on the outside, the person in front going to make their moves, not expecting you to be that quick. They misjudge the speed of the approaching car. I know that's happened to you, Twindy, on many occasions because you get those great jumps on the restarts. And there's sometimes I used to say in races that if I could I'm getting great jumps on the restart. If the guys in front of me could get the hell out of my way, I could do something with it. But you can't do much with it when they block the track.
Well, like that's one of the great things about this track is it doesn't matter how good of a restart you have. If someone blocks your line, you're done. You can't go anywhere. So happened a lot in the 125 to me, and I know it's happened to a lot of other drivers. So I don't know. You got to be careful because there's some guys are wandering a little bit more than others on the straightaways, and it makes it really difficult to make a move.
Yeah, you have to play it out just right. Read who's in front of you. They're going to be going green this time by. I have Twindy with his eyes on the back up front here. We've got It's PT leading back Daz, Cowley, Barrett, and Rasta, and there they go. Green on lap 8. Takes them a good lap to get back up to speed here at Daytona. One of the other problems when you have a couple of cautions in a row and you haven't gotten some real long green flags, as we see Johnny Benson shooting down onto the apron there. Let's get some on-board cams here towards the back of the field and see what these guys are seeing. We'll get back on the very back of the field, the number 66 car of O'Brien for Benson Speed, or I'm sorry, for JME Motorsports. Brian running in 11th. You can see the field forming up in front of you. Great wake in the draft. And that's what I was saying, is that you don't get a long green flag run. These tires don't warm up. They just become marbles. You're riding around on Flintstone. Flintstone wheels. Scoot it up through the field here, slowly give the looks here. That's Mice Pamel in the 65, the rookie driver from Germany. Looked pretty impressive. More of a road course racer, but he's holding his own out here. There's Super 8 running side by side with Roland. We got Cole directly in front of them. Johnny Benson's down trying to settle
Roland
in.
Roland and O'Brien going around, or Ryan or Super?
Roland and Super going around on the back stretch, and that's going to be a caution. Caution is out. Just as we move past them on the broadcast, two cars coming together, and they back down the front stretch.
Maybe we shouldn't point out the cars that are side by side, no.
Yeah, there you go. Leave them alone, let them work it out, right?
Yeah. Give them attention, and it's almost like they knew.
We'll see if the pits will open this time by. I'm not sure if they cleared a full lap. I think they did, as we're up to lap 10 of 40 on the board here for the Gatorade Duel number 2. The 12th SCL Daytona Speed Weeks. As I said, so glad to have you guys here. Takes the work of all of our drivers and officials. Guys like Twindy here in the booth. And as I said, big week ahead of us. Go ahead.
It's definitely been a big improvement compared to the last couple of seasons. The turnouts, I'm hoping it stays similar to this all season. It would be a big change. I believe you guys haven't seen this big of turnout since before I even came into the league, so it's definitely a new experience for me, and definitely a lot of the other drivers, I would assume.
Oh, absolutely. I think traditionally what we will see in that situation is when you have just about every race drawing more than the 16 available slots, that will last for several weeks, and then guys who are consistently not qualifying move on elsewhere, and the field starts to contract. But the point is when you have a field that big, even when the number of entries contract, because of that, the field is stronger, because it's all guys that had to fight their way through. You know, when they were rookies, they had no provisionals. They had to qualify on time just to get into races. So the fact of the matter is that it makes your field better ultimately whenever you have that. So we'll see it swell to the 20-25 entries per race level, and then it'll slow back down to the normal, which is between 15 and 18. And that's mostly what we'll see as we see PT faking down on the pit lane.
Yeah, with how many entries I've been seeing recently, I think a lot of us are definitely open for good runs in the races later on this week, because provisionals will be that important.
Alright, they're going to be coming around to the restart here. Working their way through 1 and 2. It's PT up front still, Daz in second, Bear in third, Rosta fourth, and Cali fifth. A couple of hot foots in the back, going to be looking to work their way through. As we said, top 4 advance. Currently, Rosta is at the edge of that spot. First race saw Hossack, HCC, Tiernizzle, and One Shoe earn the automatic qualifying transfers. Not surprised, as this has by far been One Shoe's best Daytona Speed Weeks ever. He won the Marlboro Open, he won the Busch Open, and then he qualifies into the 500, racing his way in. I think he's floating on cloud 9 right about now, don't you think, Twindy?
Yeah, no, especially after talking to him after the race, he definitely feeling that he's pretty hot as of right now. He's hoping, later on next week he can make some noise in the US 400 and the Daytona 500. So, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me with how well he's ran in those two cars this speed week so far. So, we'll have to see. But they're all looking like they're getting ready to take the green.
Absolutely coming down to the green flag. Here comes its PT leading Daz and Barron. And the green flag is out. Johnny Benson moving up on the outside, getting a big jump. Was a clean restart though. Just an excellent restart.
I think what we'll find for most of this race is if you can get to the outside on the restart, you will have a big run down the back.
That does seem to be the standard here.
That looks like Johnny took full advantage of it there.
Moves to the inside, takes the lead. That was a veteran move right there. As Callie gets a little wide up on the wall. See if he can catch it. Great job by Callie. He caught that.
Yep,
fantastic.
Everybody. Ooh, that was Barron in the wall there.
Barron got the wall back there. Looks like we're still green. He just lost the weight. He's gonna have to try to reel him back in.
Yeah, he's gonna have to hope. He's gonna have to hope for a yellow because you can't reel him in on your own.
He's got a partner there just in front of him now. 2 seconds.
There are 2.5 seconds in front of him, and it's very rare that you can have someone, you know, that's not a teammate drop that far back for you.
No, I got you there. He may have to hope, but the way these guys are dicing, I think he'll get another yellow sometime within the next 27 laps, as we still got Johnny Benson up front. It's PT on the outside. O'Brien getting loose and squirrely.
Awesome race if we didn't get one.
That would be great. Let's see what happens here. I'm going to jump back into the onboard here as these guys are dicing at the back of this pack. Let's get right to the back of this group here. There's Mice Pamel looking up. That's ninth going inside of O'Brien. We're on board with O'Brien in the 66 car. He's trailing up on Roland.
Looks like Mike's Paddle and Watcher are getting ready to get the end of this draft. They're closing in, and I think they're starting to get a little bit of the weight because they just cleared 200 miles an hour down the back. So looks like we could have two new guys for the main pack very soon.
It looks like Watcher and Mice Pamel are reeling them in beautifully here. That's exactly what you want to see from them. Barron, meanwhile, out to lunch. But that group is getting right up in on it. And let's get back to trackside up front where Johnny Benson is our leader. Dicing back and forth with its PT on the outside. Johnny is getting very squirrely, though, coming out of the corner on the inside. As he gives up the inside line.
I think we've seen a lot of that from him in the past, over the last season here at Daytona. It's definitely a little bit, still have a little bit of wander. I don't know if he fully has it figured out yet, but...
Oh, two cars in the wall. Looks like Callie and Roland. Did they catch it? Did they catch it?
Roland caught it, and Callie did too, it looks like, but I don't know if they're going to call it.
We'll have to see. Looks like they're still going green as of right now. Front pack shuffling up. You've got Johnny Benson leading Daz on the inside. He's got Cold right behind him, along with Rosta. The outside line there is It's PT and looks like Super 8. As we said, top 4 are the transfer spots. Some of these guys have provisional, some of them don't. Some of them are comfortable with their lap time, some of them aren't. A guy like It's PT who qualified 4th, I'm pretty sure he can be pretty comfortable, but you never know. We are far from finished. Those 17 laps in the book back there in the field. These guys trying to hook up and reel in.
Yeah, it looks like Callie and O'Brien are getting hooked up. They'll probably run down Roland pretty quick, and maybe the 3 of them will be able to catch Watcher at the tail end of the main pack.
They definitely have the time to do it. The draft wait much longer in this game than where we used to be on Gran Turismo 6, so I think that they can do it, and they are lining up, so you can see them back there lining up perfectly, and if they can get that together, like Twindy said, they're going to hook right back up with those leaders. As Johnny Benson running a very wide car, goes back down to the inside. Super 8 up into the wall, along with Daz there, and I believe we got him. we got them rolling. They are definitely going to be wrecking now.
Yeah,
that is a caution.
Daz and Super, it looked like.
Super coming. Looks like Super came down off the wall, and classic Daytona incident there. We're going to have a caution on lap 18, and there's about 4 guys in the back who are breathing a sigh of relief right there. But it looks like Daz and Super are involved in that one.
It is the worst feeling in the world to lose the draft in one of these 125s, especially when some of these guys don't have originals to fall back on.
Oh, yeah, you're watching the 500 drive away from you. I've told the story many times in if it wasn't my rookie season, then it was my second season, and we were running I believe it was the Firecracker 400, and we had one caution about 8 or 9 laps in, and then about on the restart after the caution, I got scraped up into the wall and lost the draft, and that race went green for the remainder of the 400 miles. And as a result, I ran by myself for about 2 hours. So it can be a very, very frustrating feeling, as many of us know. It's the main reason. Go ahead.
Daytona can be one of the most fun tracks until you lose the draft. And then all of a sudden you realize just how boring it is to run around a track full throttle for 2.5 miles for 200 laps, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just that. It's partly the I think that should be the thing in the back of your head that keeps you nice and safe and conservative in the early parts of these races. You don't need to be up front. You just need to be out of trouble. You just need to be in touch with the leaders, and everything will be fine. I'll be right back.
We did have one taker in the pits, looks like Super. He should catch the pack before they get to turn 3, so they should be going green this lap. Will be interesting to see if anyone can get the same sort of restart that Johnny did the last time. As can make up a lot of ground on these restarts, but you also can lose a lot of ground. So see if anyone is aggressive enough to try to make up some ground here. Looks relatively calm so far. PT looks like he's got a decent run. Getting side by side with JB, but couldn't make it work around the outside.
Alright, sorry about that. These guys obviously restarting. Looks like we got cold running. Ooh, he's real close with PT there. He's trying. I know what these drivers are thinking right now. Johnny, pick a line.
I'm actually kind of impressed with how well he's worked both lines, because I know in my 125 I tried it, but if one person gets too big of a run, there's nothing you can really do about it.
Yeah, so. I personally prefer to you know, pick a line and go with it. And then if I make a change, it's going to be, I'm going to commit to it. But as of right now, it's working for him. He's still holding the lead. He's got PT coming up on the outside. Cole's pushing him. Callie's pushing PT. And as I said, right there at the transfer spot is Callie. As these guys are going to have 19 laps to go at the line here in Gatorade Duel number 2. Let's get some on-board action for you here. Start right.
Nice panel lost the draft.
Nice panel's out.
Still in touch.
Everyone's still in touch. He's still got a shot if some trouble goes down here. We're on board with Roland from Regulator Racing. He's looking up at the back of the pack. Roland, the longtime veteran, however, did not run last season. He's going to need to finish in the top 4 here or get really lucky with his qualifying time to get into this race. So you know he's looking to find his way through. The key here is give yourself a little room on the entry to the corner so that you can be full throttle and then you can take your run somewhere. And Roland's looking on the outside. O'Brien's up there hanging on to that thing there on the outside, getting a little loose. You can see what the drivers are seeing.
A lot of people's problems here is going to be the fact that these lines are pretty deadlocked at the moment, and it's going to be really hard to make up a lot of ground.
That's where track position becomes so important, and the guys up front.
From the wall.
Oh, Callie up into the wall, and around goes O'Brien as Callie caught the wall. That is definitely going to be a caution. Callie getting scraped up on the wall, the car behind him coming directly into it. And around they go at the back there. And we are under yellow again here on lap 23. That guy starts scraping the wall and you're in 2 lines wide and that outside line has nowhere to go. That's pretty much what starts happening.
Happened to a lot of us in the first duel. Pretty much the exact same scenario, just off of 2 instead of in the middle of 2. There's just nothing you can do there. You can check up, but if you check up, most of the time you're going to get ran over, so generally there's going to be a yellow when someone gets in the wall when it's too wide like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The only way you can avoid it is the guy that got in the wall, don't get in the wall. That's about the only thing that can happen.
It's because it's so difficult to make it 3 wide and make it stick in the corners here, so, you know, it's really hard to get down below that guy without clipping somebody on the inside.
I believe the pits are going to be opening. Or unless I missed that. Did they already open? Long day of racing.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure if they opened them because I don't think everyone was here, but it's very possible they did. You're just not going to have a lot of takers in this race because you can make it on fuel, so.
Yeah, absolutely. I ran the whole race straight out, preferred to keep old warm tires on it, and so that's probably what they're doing.
Well, the good thing about this game is if you do pit, the tires they put on are warm. So, if you do it right, you have warmer tires, but
you got to start at the back.
Yeah, but like if you restart in 12th or 11th to begin with, you may as well dive in, get fresh, warm tires, and not have as many heat cycles on them. So, it's really a toss-up. But I mean, if you have nothing to lose, why not?
Yeah, we'll see if anybody does here. Does not look like anybody's hitting the pits. I wonder if they're going green, and they are. That is a green flag. Off they go again. Same suspects for Johnny Benson. It's PT, Bear, and Cold, Rosta. Those are your top 5. Looks like Bear got up into the wall a little bit and caught it. Johnny's shooting down to the inside. Coming up onto the track, and he keeps it. Nice piece of driving there. But that cycles its PT to the front. Let's look back at this next group here. Just behind them, trying to catch up. Rosta leading that 4th place group. He's got Watcher, Barron, Daz, Roland all directly on his heels there. Super and Cali as well.
Roland and Barron are trying to do something on the outside, but I don't know if they should be trying. I think they should just try to run down the front pack.
Get on the chase cam here. We've got Super at the back of that group, Cali at the back of that group. O'Brien and Mice Pamel are up in the wall. Goes Barron, around goes Super, and there's the caution. Once again, yellow is out. Yellow is out. We have got Barron, Mice Pamel, Cali, Super all involved. Not quite sure where that started. I just saw the 83 car come shooting up the track.
Barron got in the wall, came down, and I think when Roland tried to do what I was talking about, he dove from the top to the bottom to try to avoid him, and I think he clipped somebody. But same old Daytona. Someone gets to the wall, and that's generally how the wrecks happen.
I believe that was right off a restart, so there should be good to go green the next time by with 13 to go at the line. It becomes frustrating when you're in the back trying to move up, even if you're you know, close in touch, because you need green flag runs to let the field separate, start picking guys off one at a time. You don't need to keep restarting to do it, and that's where it becomes really frustrating.
Well, there's some drivers that don't mind them as long as they're not getting caught up in them. You know, the people that are really good to the restarts, people like Johnny, like me, Cali at times, you know, we don't mind them because we can get the good jumps in the restarts usually. But people that can't, they're gonna hate this.
Oh yeah. I know I prefer to set it up, because if you give enough green flag time, if there's a 12 car field like this, 3-4 cars are going to get into problems on their own, fall back, then your pack is down to 8. The longer you go green, when we have the races that go green for really, really long stretches of time in the Winston Cup Series, then what you end up with is 5-6 cars that are still hanging there at the end, and that makes it a lot easier to try to make moves. But when you get these yellows, the fields pack up, and you get what we have here, which is these cars stacked on top of each other for another restart. As I said, it's PT up front there in the 38. He's got the 42 of Cole directly behind him. The 22 of Johnny Benson's in third. Rosta is in fourth in the last transfer spot, and Watcher in the 19 is directly behind them, as we should be coming back for a restart with 13 to go.
Watcher not that long ago was just barely hanging on to the draft, so he's got to be happy being up at P5.
Absolutely, the new lead driver on Renaissance Racing, as we're going to get to the flag, and off we go. There goes Johnny on that big outside jump. Is he going to have enough? Are they going to go 3 wide to try to block him? Johnny doesn't have any help right now, and that's not going to help him, as Cold staying down on the bottom with PT. Rosta catching up. Daz moved into 5th place as they string out a little here on the restart.
Most of the field is single file at this point. Couple stragglers up at on the high side.
Going to get back on board here briefly at the tail end of the draft. Mice Pamel falling back.
Losing it again, I think.
He's back in 12th. They're on board with Super in the 83 car for Renaissance Racing, the former IndyCar Series champion in season 20. He's trying to hook up with Cali and see if they can get something going. Super's making a classic mistake there, though. He's running way too close to him on entry, getting the aero push, and now he's losing momentum on the backstretch. And when you do that, you don't have any muscle right there. That's why you want to...
I think he's just drafting up on the bottom and then going up to the top. I think this is fully intentional. I mean, I don't know. He might be wanting to run there.
That could be what he's trying to do. I could be totally wrong there. It depends. That is a strategy you can use. But if you really want to get a run off somebody, get about a car length, hammer back on that throttle, and then pull around them. Oh, these guys are getting tight in with each other. Watcher moving way, way down on the track. These guys are having to check up here at the back.
Took advantage a little bit there, dove to the outside, but I don't know how big of a run he's going to have. He had to check up pretty bad along with the rest of them.
And you're seeing them dice and move there in the back. We'll jump back up towards the front here on the trackside cam. As its PT continues to hold the lead, he's got Cole directly behind him. Johnny trying to get something going with Daz on the outside. Anybody there in the middle of the pack, I'd be thinking you got to commit to getting to the top 4, so commit to a line and make sure your guys get through.
It looks like Callie and Super making a run on the top. Let's see if they're going to be able to help Daz and Johnny. Super got to the wall a little bit, but he's going to hang on.
It's PT going up to the outside now. That's going to allow Cole to come down to the inside with Rosta directly on his tail. Not sure if PT did. Oh, Johnny going 3 wide on the outside. Are they going to settle in before the corner? He gets down to the middle, makes it work.
Got really dicey
Bets it up in the third.
Callie, Daz, and Watcher looked like they got 3 wide there for at least a split second. Kind of stacked up the field a tiny bit.
All right, back on at the back of the pack. Get on board here with Callie in the number 60 TOW racing car, trying to make an outside line work as they cross the line with 9 laps to go.
Yeah, I think the 3 wide move there kind of disintegrated the outside line. Just made everyone give up momentum. I think a lot of them thought they were going to wreck, and I don't blame them.
Yeah, they pulled out of it, played it smart. Squeezes just inside there. Still running on the back here with Callie. Let's jump on to Daz in the 55 from Team Danamore. As these guys know now, 8 to go with the line. If they're going to make their move, they got to make it. Now, me personally, this far back, I might just hang back and try to avoid the carnage in front of me to move myself up.
Well, at this point, you got to hang. You know, if you're this far back, Super got loose, got into the wall there. It looks like.
See if he can hang on to it.
I think he's got the momentum. He should be good.
So picks it back up. We'll jump back up to Daz here. Somebody up into the wall again. That's O'Brien in the 66 car.
Callie got forced below the yellow. Somehow saved it there.
That pulls Super right back up into it. And we'll get back up on board here, or on front. As Cole is leading Rosta, Roland has moved up into 3rd, and Johnny Benson is in 4th. Watcher just out on the outside. He's side by side with Barron as they're trying to get a move here onto the top 4 spots. Down around goes Barron.
Oh, there we go. Big wreck.
Round goes Barron. Right off the tri-oval. Looks like Barron's involved.
Everyone from 7th back was involved.
Big wreck on the front stretch there, just coming through the tri-oval, and on lap 34 we're going to have a caution flag, and that's going to make something very interesting here because we're going to have a final restart green to the finish because of this, as around those guys go.
I was getting ready to say, I think if Rosta and Roland managed to hold on to those spots, those would be 2 very favorable and very what am I looking for here? Very favorable of the drivers to make it through, especially with Roland coming back from the hiatus.
He would be a very popular guy to make the field, absolutely. Right now, Johnny's on that bubble spot. It's PT's right behind him, Callie in 6th. Those guys are all going to be looking for is when they go green here. 36 is green to the finish. So I believe that's going to be it. I believe the pits will open this time by. See if anybody
should. But
see if anybody decides to take tires in the back, perhaps. Super. Ice panel. We have any takers back there? I don't see any.
Man, that kind of surprises me. I would have figured that at least one of the guys in the back would have taken it, but I mean I think they're just happy with what they got, or they don't see any benefit to it. So
yeah, they're just going to set up and make their move. Yeah, they're right. When they go green here, it'll be green to the finish. As we said, Cold's up there in front. You got Rosta in 2nd in the 15 car. Roland's in 3rd. Fourth place in line there in the 22's Johnny Benson. Those are the automatic transfer spots. They got XXIII in the 38 car in fifth directly behind them. Cali in the 60 directly behind them. And these guys got a 5-lap shootout to the finish to determine who's in the field in the Daytona 500.
As I've been going through the field here, I think a lot of these guys are starting at the top of first gear on these restarts. Is how the motors sound, and I think that's why some of these people are struggling a little bit on the restarts, but I don't know. It'll be an interesting last bit here.
Yeah, this is the restart that it's going to matter the most at, and they know they're going to get what they get. Cold sitting up there in the front, the defending Season 22 IndyCar Series champ. As he's going to be coming down to the restart, 5 laps to go in SCL 23 Gatorade Duel number 2 as Daytona Speed Weeks rolls on. And this is for all the marbles. I think maybe we should get on board in the back here on this restart, Twindy. Let's get on board with Mice Pamela at the absolute back of the field. See how this plays out in front of them as they're coming to the line for that last green. Cold's leading them. And they're green, green, green. We'll see what happens in front of them here. Looks like they fan out pretty good. Jump up a few cars here.
Looks like Watcher stacked up the back couple cars. Didn't get going as well. Ooh, Super's losing it and collecting Mice Spam on the back.
Super goes loose, causes the wreck at the back. It looks like they're going to be green to the finish though, so no luck there for these guys. We're on board with Daz in ninth as he's with what he's seeing in front of him. There's Watcher directly behind them trying to reel him in. So Super getting loose at the end there, collecting Mice Pamel. That's going to hurt Mice Pamel's chances. Did not have a fast qualifying lap. That might be cooking his goose for the 500. As we come down to the line with 4 laps to go, get you the cinematic trackside cam here up front. Cold, Rosta, It's PT, and Johnny currently in the transfer spots. Roland directly behind them.
The outside line looks like it's getting ready to start going somewhere. I don't know though. It's trying to get going.
It's getting late and they need to think about doing it. O'Brien hooking up there with It's PT. This is where you start making friends with drivers on other teams.
Yeah, PT's big run going into 3. Let's see how this all plays out. This could go really bad, or this could make it really exciting.
If O'Brien and Barron can hook up with him, they may have a shot, but there are 4 cars running on the inside. That may or may not make it tougher as they are bouncing around with 3 to go now. Cold still holding it down on the bottom. He's got Roasted directly on his tail, probably comfortable where he's at because that's a transfer spot. And the outside line just trying to hook it up. They're going to have to take a little more of the track as we got cars going around.
Looks like 2 got collected there. Who was it?
It's like O'Brien was in that and Roland was in that. But they look like they saved it. They saved it and kept going. A beautiful piece of driving by O'Brien and Roland. O'Brien ends up in the wall, but that was a great piece of driving to save that. Roland still on it.
They were gone.
O'Brien all the way in the back. And as they come to the line with 2 to go, Roland's going to have a shot at getting back into this. Meanwhile, it's Cold up front, Roasted directly behind him, Johnny behind him, 3rd in the inside line, holding that 4th spot.
Jumps to the outside. I think they can. I think Callie and PT can do it as long as they can hold the car straight. At least get them both into the transfer spots.
They need to commit now, though. It's PT is in there. He's running 3rd on that outside line. Callie, however, is running 5th. He needs to make a move here, get right up on PT's tail as they're coming down to the white flag with Cold leading the field. White flag is out at the Gatorade Duel 2. Ooh, into the inside,
PT
and
goes around, and Callie into Johnny, and the big wreck.
Then the big wreck takes place. Who comes out of it?
Cold, Roasta, Barron, Johnny. And that looks like the only one that made it through.
Yeah,
and that looks like it may very likely decide the transfer spots, as it is the final lap.
And it looks like what we're looking at here exactly right. Cole's running up front with Rosta directly behind him. Rosta's going to try for the win here. And it looks like that's going to do it.
I think he's too far back.
He's looking for it, but it looks like Cole from JME Motorsports is going to come home with the win in Gatorade Duel number 2. Rosta directly behind him. Barron comes home in 3rd. And Johnny Benson in 4th to complete the transfer spots. It's PT in 5th. O'Brien fights his way home to 6th. Roland 7th. Daz in 8th. Mice Pamela in 9th. Callie's 10th. Super back in 11th. And Watcher, unfortunately, goes all the way down to 12th. All right, that does it. There is your final results. Cole takes the win. Rosta directly behind him in 2nd. Barron comes home in 3rd. And Johnny Benson in 4th place. Those are your automatic transfer spots. Let's get our screenshot here. And let's go ahead and, excuse me, invite Johnny into this party so we can very quickly figure out the...
Loading up last season's standings right now.
Yeah, load up those standings, guys. So there are your final results. Sure, guys upset about the big wreck there at the end, but that's how it plays out here at the Daytona at Daytona International Speedway. And we will look at our list here and figure out who our qualifying is. We'll stay on the air to do this with you folks. You'll be getting a live look behind the qualifying here.
Guys, just come into game chat, guys. So you can have your winners interview in there.
All right. We just need to. I gotta go, so we need to figure out the provisionals here. All right. Game chat. All right, guys. Good job. Good race. You guys put on a good show. And let's figure out here our finishes here. So duel. Okay, here we go.
Wait a minute.
Duel 1. Got stay down. Duel 2 was Kip. All right, our 4 winners in the first race, Johnny, were... We had Hossack, HCC, Tiernizzle, and One Shoe. And then in this race here, we've got Cold, Rosta, great job, Barron, and Johnny Benson. So those are our automatic 10. Go for it. I'm calculating. All right, let's look.
not wipe
Baron
out
all
with
made
my...
it into the 500, so you're gonna have some help next Sunday. Baron, you just barely made it in by the skin of your teeth. How'd that work out, Baron?
Oh my gosh, on that final wreck, I actually touched Callie. Oh my gosh. I'm just happy to finally get some sort of luck at Daytona.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to fall back on my time, which I probably could have, but I'm glad I'm locked in without having to do that. Let somebody else get there on time, you know?
All right.
Just barely made the outside shot there. You'll probably fall in on time.
Yeah, I'll let you guys know in a second.
Brian, you got any comments for the what did it look like from the booth, good race?
Oh, that was actually a pretty damn good race. I mean, the guys were pretty clean. There were a couple of cars mostly getting loose off the wall, but the racing was good, and they showed a lot of restraint at times. I thought it was a really good race. I was impressed by how everybody handled it. Let me finish calculating this, though. Okay, Twindy.
Twindy was up in the booth with the color guy. What did you think, Twindy?
It was... I think both twins today were good races overall. But this one, I knew that was going to happen at the end. It's just you have to expect it.
Yeah, but overall, there was good hard racing. We had long green flag runs, a couple of cautions, one right at the end there, the bunch of pack back up again, but it was good hard racing. I mean, it was nerve-wracking trying to be on the top four.
Okay. All right. And okay. All right. I've got the preliminary calculations, guys. I'm gonna have to split because I got to go run. But Johnny, I'll come up later on when I get home, and I will type out onto the community the actual starting order and all that. But I'm gonna give you guys the provisional starters here and who made it through and why. Obviously, we've got the automatic qualifiers. We've got Stay Down and Kip, the front row qualifiers, and then we have the 8 cars that just raced their way in. Hossack, Cold, HCC, Rosta, Tiernizzel, Barron, One Shoe, and Johnny Benson. That left us to the points provisionals. There were 4 drivers in the top 10 in points last season that did not qualify in through the duels and needed to use their provisionals to get in. Yours truly, Carlin Hicks, 2nd in points. Twindy, 3rd in points. Rita, 4th in points, and Callie, 8th in points, 7th or 8th in points. I didn't have to look at it again. Hang on. Doesn't matter. 9th in points. Yeah, sorry. Callie, 9th in points. Those are your 4 points provisionals that make it through. The past champions provisional. There is a past champion that can use it here, and that is Tony Moose, Season 8 and Season 20 Winston Cup champion. He will make it into the field as a past champion. That leaves one more spot available to the fastest remaining qualifying time. That fastest remaining qualifying time belongs to its PT as the 4th overall qualifier. So that puts the... Absolutely. So the 16 cars in the field, as I said, Stay Down, Kip, Hossack, Cold, HCC, Rosta, Tiernizzel, Barron, One Shoe, Johnny Benson, Carlin, Twindy, Rita, Callie, Tony, and PT. The rest of the field, you will be placed in alternate order based on your qualifying time. I will give you guys the actual starting order and all of that later on tonight. I'll put all that onto the community. Other than that, great racing, guys. What? Looking at the looking at the list right now. Let me cross that out. And don't call me official on this. Is unofficial because I got to pour through it. But unofficially, the remaining times, the first alternate, unofficially, first alternate Daz, second alternate O'Brien, third alternate Watcher, fourth alternate Cat Guy, fourth alternate Cat Guy, and Super, Joey, Roland, all the way down the list. But it looks like the first alternate Daz, second alternate's O'Brien, third alternate's Watcher as of right now. So make sure you guys show out next week.
Great job sneaking in there. Great job sneaking in there, Roast, after that turd you showed in qualifying.
Yeah, Roasta had to get in on the by racing his way in, and he did just that. The rest of you guys, before I split, I'm going to tell you tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, is the Daytona Rallycross Nationals. We'll open the pre-race about 6. If I get any other officials around, listen to the broadcast or anything, please, I could use some help on that one because we'll have to do heat races for that. But we do have the Rallycross Nationals here tomorrow night, and we've got events all through the week. Check the schedule. For those of you that got into they are by Monma, they are by points, but the points are from last season. Callie, Twindy, Carlin, Twindy, Rita, Callie are getting their provisionals based on their points. Tony's getting in on a past champions provisional, PT on time. Sorry, getting the questions on there. All right. So yeah, tomorrow night we've got the Rallycross Nationals. You guys looked really good today. There were a couple of you. I think one car to point out would be Mies Pamel. Looked really good. Got caught up in other people's accidents. That happens to people at this track. It's just Daytona. Shake it off. You know, it happens to everybody. I don't think I haven't been wrecked in a race this week. So you looked really good though, Misa. We were on board with you for a while, and you looked solid. All of you looked good. Nobody looked terrible. A couple cars were really loose, but you guys will get the handle of it. Anyway, I got to split, go run some errands. Great job, guys. I'll see you tomorrow night at the Rallycross Nationals.